just picked up this Jackson Adrian Smith model guitar. It's the import one, the cheaper one, but I got it for a cheap enough price, and it's really a cool guitar. So the bottom line, we'll get right to the meat of it. If you're a Maiden fan, this is a great guitar. If you're looking for an inexpensive Jackson with a Floyd Rose, tremolo system, locking, double locking, this is a great guitar to grab. So there's pros and cons for me, at least, and they may not be all pros and cons for you. The neck on it feels great. It's not super slim, but it's sort of flat enough and rounded enough. It's a really nice mix between kind of the flat type shredder thing and the more rounded, like vintage Fender type neck. It's great, and the edges are rolled on this. I bought it used, so I don't know if it came stock like that, but it feels incredibly smooth, incredibly comfortable. The neck really feels amazing. And the neck feels like hard as a rock, like solid. So there's no issues there. The double locking tremolo system is great. It's a lot of fun. It works great. This has the lower priced Floyd, the Floyd Rose Special, that a lot of people have issues with. I don't. I think it's totally fine, although I'm not, Floyd Rose aficionado. But anyway, it works fine and everything. The pickups are decent. The humbucker is definitely leans more towards the distorted, like it did at the beginning of the video. And I'll do a clean in a minute. The single coil pickups are not great. They just seem kind of bland. But for the price of the guitar used, they're like $500 or something, $450, $500 used. You can definitely upgrade the pickups pretty cheaply, and then you can put in exactly what you want for the single coils. The humbucker may be fine for you, or you may want to put what you want in it. But anyway, so it has the 5-way switch, works just as you would expect, has the volume and tone control, and it just works for all of them. And that's really it. A nice little touch is the back of this is routed really nicely, and there's some bare wood, which some people say helps the guitar to breathe a little bit. I don't know. It's a little heavy, but it's not bad at all. It feels solid. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels solid. And what else? The only real issue that I have is, for me, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of the Floyd Rose tremolo system. I wanted to try one, so I grabbed this guitar when I saw it on sale used, and I'm not 100% sold on it. It plays great, it feels great. I'm used to having just a Fender trem that's decked, so it can only, go down. So it's kind of neat to have, the ability to go up and down on it. I'm not a big fan of the tremolo arm that kind of just screws in, like screws with that collar that these have. I don't know if you can see it. See, there's like a collar. I'm used to the, the one that you twist it around like 15 times for it to thread itself into the block. The guitar has a bit of a thin kind of sound / feel to it, and I'm thinking, a friend of mine said, well, it's because it's the cheap Floyd Rose. If you got, like, put in the nice one, then it would sound so much better. But the nice one is like $300, and now we're approaching like, you know, the price of the whole guitar. So I don't know, but there is no denying the fact that a Floyd Rose bridge is only connected to the actual guitar by these two posts that are on like a knife edge. So it's like a tiny amount of metal that's touching to connect the strings to the actual body, and then the springs in the back technically also would couple the strings with the body. But there's no denying the fact that there's an extremely tiny amount that actually touches between the strings and the body of the guitar. And I gotta think that that has a big influence on what I'm perceiving as kind of a little bit of a thinness of tone. You really can't hear it here. It's a feel thing, really. But here, if I turn off the pedal there, so that's the humbucker. Okay, and for an amp I'm using a Supro combo, not an inexpensive amp. So you can't really say like, well, you know, if you're playing through a $149 amp, sure. It's a decent sounding amp. One of the Supro Black Magics, the Jimmy Page one. But anyway, so that's the humbucker. The neck pickup. There's a thinness that I feel. But anyway, it's a cool guitar, and if it doesn't bother you that much, the fine details. Oh, and I don't really like the side jack. I'm so used to a Strat with the top that every time I try to move it, I bump this on my leg. But that's really just my own idiosyncrasy thing with the guitar. So if none of these issues are really that much of a problem for you, it's a really nice guitar. It really is for the price. You know, $500, $450, whatever used.